Is this Tom Higginson now?
That is Tom Higginson.
Oh no. He used to look like Lee Pace. I think, right?
Time has not been kind to any Lee Pace resemblance.
Like, not like a lot like Lee Pace, but like, no, I mean, you're right. In my memory, he looked more like Lee Pace, and then I looked at the picture, I was like, not really, but like, they're from Chicago, the Plain White Tees.
Who's in the picture?
I'm sorry, is that Lee Pace smuggling a chicken?
Yes.
What's happening right now? Lee Pace looks like Zachary Levi in this picture.
Significantly better looking Zachary Levi, sure.
Really? Well, maybe. I think Zachary Levi's a good looking dude.
Is good looking, but this is way better looking than.
God, Marvel fucking wasted Lee Pace.
Yeah. They can bring him back. He was only blue. Just I don't give a shit.
Just like, what an absolute fucking waste of Lee Pace. He's so good and good looking, and they're like, we're gonna just paint him blue and make him do nothing. In this picture, fucking Tom Higginson looks like John Cusack. The one you sent. He looks like John Cusack. And like, not like John Cusack in a movie, but like John Cusack on the street, like sad and depressed.
What's if it's sad out of all the people that met in Hollywood? John Cusack is the only one they've looked at and is like, he looks like he's killed people.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know what it was. They're just like, look at his eyes. John Cusack has murderer's eyes.
You're saying John Cusack is a murderer. That's what you're saying right now.
I'm not saying he's a murderer.
You're saying John Cusack. That's straight from your mouth. This is all going in the episode. Jake says John Cusack is definitely a murderer.
It will only make me a bigger fan. I am a big John Cusack. I'm a big John Cusack fan.
And you'll be a bigger fan if he is a murderer.
It'd be very interesting. I mean, like, it'd make him reprehensible, but you have to admit, it would make him more interesting if he also was killing people.
I don't know if that's true, right? Because I feel like Kevin Spacey was more interesting when he wasn't raping young boys.
Oh, God.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. Those past videos he released is pretty...
Jesus Christ. I mean, you're not wrong. They're definitely interesting.
I'm not condoning John Cusack the murder. I'm just saying it'd be interesting.
No, hold on. No, you said
John Cusack.
I believe your exact words were, it would make me a bigger fan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's not. What do you mean? Oh yeah, I would sure.
Be on a quantitative level, I would be even more interested in showing people John Cusack movies, which I'm not currently. But I'd be like, Gross Point Blank, it's based on a true story.
John Cusack murdering some people.
Have you seen War Inc.?
Honestly, the only John Cusack movie that I think I have seen that I remember is Hot Tub Time Machine. I'm
a big fan of Hot Tub Time Machine. Well, I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know if it holds up.
I'm looking through his entire... I haven't seen 16 Candles. I haven't seen Say Anything. I haven't seen Stand By Me.
John Cusack was in 16 Candles?
Apparently, I don't know. He played
my knowledge of John Cusack begins with like High Fidelity.
I haven't seen High Fidelity.
Serendipity.
Haven't seen Serendipity. Haven't seen Gross Point Blank. Haven't seen
War Inc.
Con Air, which apparently he was in. He's
essentially the same character in War Inc. and Gross Point Blank. Like, he plays a hitman in both movies. And I think in both movies, Dan Aykroyd is his handler. And they're wildly different tones. Speaking of John Cusack shooting someone from a helicopter.
Hello, helicopter, are you here to stay? Bodies rust in motion, fighting night and day. Well, it's kill or be killed, and one day we'll get the best of them. Hello, helicopter, will you be my friend? will you take me away?
Hello, helicopter, and welcome to Motion City Podcast, episode number 4. I think it's 4. I had to, right? I think I had to. That's
We're just beginning every episode that way now.
You know what? Honestly, it might not be the worst way to start every episode of a Motion City Soundtrack podcast. Like, hello, helicopters. That's what we're going to call our fans. If we actually get fans, then we're going to call them helicopters. That is official. If anybody starts listening to this podcast, you are officially now called our helicopters. Hashtag Helicopter Nation. Get it trending. I am, of course, Nam Siddiqui, the host of this show. Joining me as always, you've already heard his voice. It is Jacob Walton, a.k.a. Just Jake. I was about to say your internet handle and then realized we don't do that. I was
just
saying,
Jake, like a musician.
It's Jake from State Farm.
You know how
I'm sure you've never heard that one before.
I don't mind it, but every time.
Yeah.
What's your name? Jake. Like from State Farm? You fucking got it.
Are you wearing khakis right now?
I'm wearing sweatpants.
Oh.
Well, they're
Shame.
like running track pants.
Sure. Yes, obviously we are talking about Hello Helicopter today, from the album Even If It Kills Me, Motion City Soundtrack's third album, released in 2007. This album was produced half by Rick Ocasek and half by Adam Schlesinger and Eli Janney. Rick Ocasek, of course, from The Cars, Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne, and Eli Janney, I think, is just a music producer. Apparently sang backing vocals in Girls Against Boys. Sure. He works on Seth Meyers. That's cool. Oh, that's probably why Justin and Josh went to see Seth Meyers a couple, like when they were in New York, because they just were like, they know the guy who's the music director, and they were like, hey, can we get tickets? And he was probably like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That tracks. Yes. So this song was produced by Rick Ocasek. What else? Yeah. Well, I guess we can talk a little bit about the Rick Ocasek stuff. Do you listen to Cars at all? Are you a The Cars fan?
I could name none songs.
None songs? Really? If I named some Cars songs, you probably recognize. Like You Think. No?
Nope.
Hold on. Where are the other ones? Come
Let's
on.
look at the singles. Just What I Needed.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Just What I Needed. Of course, you've heard.
Of course. I'm
Good Times Roll. Let the good times roll.
Yeah.
Touch and Go, maybe.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard like every song on this list just from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're one of those. They're one of those bands.
Dad, but I couldn't. I never specifically set out to listen to The Cars.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they're a solid band. I think. I don't know. I guess they're new wavy, but I could totally buy calling them sort of like pre pop punk. Like they're
like thinking of Just What I Needed immediately makes me think of the synthesizer in it. And I wonder if there's that connection there.
That makes sense.
Feels like a stretch. They use a synthesizer. Motion City Soundtrack uses a synthesizer, but
I think it's actually just keyboards, to be honest. But yeah, Rick Ocasek, of course, passed away last September. I don't remember if it was this song. It was definitely one of the songs off this album, because I host a trivia night on Wednesday nights, and I definitely picked one of the songs off this album to play like the first round as like a Rick Ocasek tribute of like just playing a bunch of songs that he produced. So yes, produced by Rick Ocasek. This is interesting. The Rick Ocasek stuff is interesting. I don't know if you've read into this much, but like apparently Justin was like, he's obviously the one who talks to press the most, but was like weirdly bummed about Rick Ocasek's involvement. Cause like, I don't know, apparently like he like showed up not all the time, and he would like say stuff is great when they thought it sucked, and when they thought something was great, he'd be like, nope, start over. So they weren't really sure if he was like fucking with them or just like weird. He also produced the Blue album, by the way, the Weezer's Blue album.
Yeah, I'm looking through his association right now because, of course, Weezer was briefly on Epitaph.
So off this album, he produced This Is For Real, Last Night, Calling All Cops, Broken Heart, and Even If It Kills Me, which are some of the, like, I mean, there's a lot of good tracks on this album, but This Is For Real was one of the singles, and it's one of the, you know, classics off the album, Even If It Kills Me, obviously. And Calling All Cops, I think, is really excellent, too. And then, obviously, Hello Helicopter, which, wait, hold on. Sorry, Wikipedia says Broken Heart was produced by Rick Ocasek. Let me double check to make sure that I read my vinyl right, because I very well could have misread it. I did. So this track was produced by Adam Schlesinger and Eli Janney.
All right. Changing pages.
So Fountains of Wayne sang Stacy's mom.
Of course. There's a song I listen to a lot.
That's a song, you know. That's as well as the song Hey Julie, which you may recognize from the one episode of Scrubs with Mandy Moore. Do you remember the episode of Scrubs with Mandy Moore?
Of course, but I don't remember the song.
Yeah, it's the second one. It's the one where that airbanding gets disallowed. And at one point, like, he starts like air guitaring, and Kelso points no airbanding.
There's another song in that episode that I can't. Right? It's like
the Boston song, right?
I think it's like the one that they use when they're doing the mock pictures of going. Was it just one episode? I feel like it was two. Was it 2 episodes?
With her? Yeah, it was 2 of her. Are you talking about 100 Years?
Is that
by Five for Fighting?
Probably. Yeah.
15, there's still time for you.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That's the song I associate with Mandy Moore and Scrubs.
That's fair. That's reasonable. But I don't know. I've always associated with Hey Julie, but maybe it's because I liked that song, and I don't know. Like, that was one of those songs that I listened to. It was odd. Did I get a request? Are you kidding me? Jesus. Reddit's the worst. Anyway, yeah. Where were we? Yeah. So when whatever Adam Schlesinger I think he's a really interesting producer. I lost my tab, and like now I feel like an idiot.
He did the score for Art School Confidential. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not seen that movie.
It's Max Minghella. I think it's like, who is the?
I only know Max Minghella because he was in
Social Network.
The Social Network. Yeah.
John Malkovich, Angelica Houston, Jim Broadbent, also like Ethan Suplee.
Yes. My Name is Earl Fame. Yeah. Adam Schlesinger also did the music for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on the CW. Among other things, he does like a lot of television stuff. I don't know. He's an interesting producer. Did he write? He wrote High School Never Ends for Bowling for Soup. He just like writes songs too. Jesus. Am I just like interested in Adam Schlesinger? Maybe he should produce the hypothetical next Motion City soundtrack album that may or may not ever happen. Because who knows if this is just a show or maybe they'll do an album. God knows. But yeah. So let's talk about the song itself. Hello Helicopter. Jake, why did you pick this song?
I was looking for another one of the, when I think of, actually, Hello Helicopter is one of the songs that like I most quickly go to when I think of Motion City Soundtrack, because my Pandora station of Motion City Soundtrack really liked playing that song. So that's that's one of, now it's a little bit more varied, but for a while there, the first song I would think of is
Hello Helicopter.
Is the beginning. I guess I'd say the first melody of it would be Hello Helicopter.
It's funny actually that reminds me, a friend of mine, she was never like a big Motion City Soundtrack fan, but like I went to the farewell tour and she like came with us. I was like, cool, okay, yeah, absolutely, come see the band. And she was in my car a couple weeks ago, and I was, we were just talking about music and Motion City Soundtrack and whatever, because I'd just seen them. And she was like, well, the only song I really think about from them is Give Up, Give In, because it's on one of the playlists she made. So that's the song she hears the most often, which is like a B-side off of Go, which is like a weird song to associate with a band, is a B-side off of their worst album.
Well, honestly, I mean, I enjoy the song, but the reason why I remember Helicopter is because I disliked it relative to other, in the scheme of it playing their songs, there were a lot of songs I would have rather it played, and that's the one it would go with so frequently.
You disliked it compared to other songs?
No, I like it would be lower on my preference list than but because of that, my whole concept of the album, even if it kills me, is kind of structured on Hello Helicopter, even though it's however deep in the album.
I'll tell you what, when I first got into Motion City Soundtrack, this was my favorite album of theirs. I thought it was a more complete album. I think since then it's become Commit This to Memory. And I don't know if that's just because it's everybody's favorite, or because, it is probably empirically the best, and I just sort of realized that later on. But I remember tweeting to the person who hosts the podcast that got me into the band about it, and hey, thanks for getting me in this band, I really love him, blah blah blah. What's your favorite album? And he goes, Commit This to Memory. It's like, oh, I like Commit This to Memory, but I like Even If It Kills Me more. I feel like Commit This to Memory is more singly, and Even If It Kills Me is more albumy, which is now 10 years later or whatever, I feel like the opposite is true. There's so many songs on this album that could just straight up be single after single after single, whereas Commit This to Memory I think works so much better just as a complete album than this does, which makes sense, right? Because it was produced by three different people, but two people and one person and one team. If you count Schlesinger, which is just not an easy name, Schlesinger and Janney as one team. And then the other one being Rick Ocasek. Also, apparently there's additional engineering by John Holbrook, who I believe is one of the They Might Be Giants guys. Are you a They Might Be Giants fan? I feel like you're a They Might Be Giants fan.
I like their music, but I don't.
Okay, well, I was wrong anyway. That's John Flansburgh. They're both named John. It's John Flansburgh and John Linnell. So for some reason I thought he was one of the Johns, but it's not. Yeah. So what else? Some other interesting production notes on this. Do you hear the additional vocals on this song at all?
Yeah, I guess for a long time I assumed, I just kind of thought of other vocals as just Justin. It's not that I thought of them as Justin. I didn't care who they were, so it was kind of that childlike thing. Well, I don't care who they are, so they don't exist.
Where are you know? Because I don't know.
Some of the times when he's singing "Are You Listening," I feel like I can hear it a little bit. Just really? Thinking about it.
I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to it a lot closer, because there's three additional vocalists on this song, and some of them are also additional vocalists on other songs. And I need to listen to all these songs again a lot, because I just don't hear. So Rachel Minton from Zoloft the Rock and Roll Destroyer, Sean Harris from I forget the name.
What's Zoloft's? I feel like they had a single.
Sean Harris from The Matches and Max Bemis from Say Anything all have additional vocals on this song, and it's one of those that like I just never hear. Like maybe there's something that just sounds enough like Justin that I think it's Justin and it's not. But let's see, Zoloft the Rock and Roll Destroyer.
Arg, I'm a Pirate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. The only thing I'm familiar with is because the Real Big Fish song, She Has a Girlfriend Now.
Yep.
I think on the live version, she also guests on that. That's what I vaguely know her from. Yes, that is a true thing. I double checked. But yeah, she's also on Point of Extinction and It Had to Be You. And I just like don't know. Maybe I gotta listen to those songs again because I just never have noticed that. I don't know. And then the strings. There's some strings at the end. This does not say who did the strings, but it does say that Eli Janney arranged the strings, which is interesting because the album for Go, the CD for Go, lists who performed on all the strings on that album. So it's weird that it doesn't list it specifically on this one, on the vinyl. But anyway, so yeah, strings are arranged by Eli Janney, who obviously also co-produced it. What are your some of your initial thoughts? What did you first think when you first heard this song?
I know we'll get into this in a little bit on the covers, but I feel like the song just seems more singing focused from Justin. That's the feeling I came away from it.
Like, what do you mean?
Like it feels like the focus in the song is much more on him singing than I guess like other songs. I feel like instrumentals have a little bit more, like have more presence. Whereas with this song, like my association with the song is strongly in his vocals, whereas it's more of a mix in other songs than in this one.
I'll say that's true, and then there's definitely some moments that like plays with the vocals. So there's the I'm not saying anything, like the sort of production on that, the sort of I don't know, makes it sound kind of far away. It sounds very Owl City-y, like it sounds like Fireflies. Not like in a bad way. It's just like that's the way that Owl City sings. It sounds kind of like that, and with the production on it, it sounds like I don't know, a little different, and I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know, the Fireflies, which I've at points enjoyed, is just so. I don't know. I'd describe it as like modeling.
You can't separate from the meme.
I don't even know the meme.
No, it's just the song itself is just like anyway. What's fine?
It's like overly sweet. It's so.
I was gonna say because modeling. I had to Google modeling because I'm like I feel like I understand what that means. And I don't know if it's because it's self-pityingly or tearfully sentimental, often through drunkenness, which is very much most of the soundtrack's game.
Yeah, but
no, I understand.
Maybe I
can see what you're saying because this song isn't that, right? Like this song isn't, Time Turned Fragile, which is like straight up self-pityingly sentimental to drunkenness, right? Like, I
have a negative association with that, so it's definitely arbitrary. But like again, I enjoy Fireflies. It's just so sweet. Like
saccharin is saccharin the word you're looking for?
Yeah, well that's kind of that is what I said. But I don't.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can see that. I'm just saying, like, because also I will say a lot of this album is sweet. Like I think I said, I don't remember if it was on the first episode or what, that I said that I feel like Even If It Kills Me is the poppiest of their albums. Like this is it's leaning far more on the pop side of pop punk than anything else they've done, which is again not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think this this song in no, I think there are plenty of moments actually in this song in particular that are poppy. You know, it's not This Is For Real or Fell in Love Without You. But this song I think is solidly poppy enough that it feels, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like trying to compare it to the songwriting of Fireflies or the lyrics of Fireflies. I just I think it's I just think the way he sings in like that moment and the production on it sounds kind of like Fireflies. That's all. Like sounds like the singing in Fireflies.
It's been a long time since I've listened to it, but I still have a pretty good memory of it. Yeah, I don't.
How long have you listened to this song or Fireflies?
Fireflies.
Oh,
I listened to Helicopter like 20 times in the last.
I was gonna say like that's not like you. Do you have any other basic thoughts on it before you want to talk a little bit about some like meanings, deeper meanings?
Not really. You know, like I said, I really think of the song mostly through its lyrics. I know there's a little bit of the synth on it, but I don't. You know, I just don't. I think of the synth as it is, as it harmonizes with Justin singing. So it's like,
yeah, I agree. I think that's true. Especially, I think the synth line on this sounds a lot like the vocal line, just at a little bit of a different. Yeah. So I feel that. So what I find interesting about this song is that they call it, like Justin says, it's their most overtly political song. So then interview with Nadine Chung of AOL Music, which I had to hunt down. I found it like copied onto Epitaph's site because it like music.aol.com doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it does, but like this, all the links to it were broken. It was on the Wikipedia page and the link was broken. Anyway, fucking oath, am I right? So he said that one is kind of our political song. I like the line "Hello Helicopter." I hope I didn't steal it. Josh said, "Hey, why don't we write something political?" I said, "Well, we don't stand for anything as a band. At least we don't really try to. The only way I could write something from a political point of view is because I'm an apathetic human being. So it's a political song from an apathetic point of view. That's the best way I can put it. I try not to be too heavy-handed. It's just a kind of a laundry list of things that bum me out." So I don't know. That's interesting, right? Because they say he says it's the only overtly political song, but one track later.
Yeah, I was gonna say the very next song in Where I Belong has
Where I Belong. Yeah, 1,000% has the it's Chaos and the Chaos, and the left side's all upset because the right side wants a summer home and knows we can't afford it. Like, how is that not the most overtly political line they've written? You know, like it's so.
I guess if you understand what, you know, since he's typically reserved about his song meanings, this might be it's the observer bias where he knows what he was thinking when he wrote it. So
yeah, I get that. But like again, the left side wants a summer home and the right side wants summer home. And like
I'm right. I'm just saying like I'm saying he.
I know.
You know, views the songs differently.
Yeah,
what
does
sure. Helicopter mean? What is that? Is that a reference to something?
I don't think it's specifically. So he said took forever to write. I didn't want to be too preachy, but I actually wanted to say something that was a little more on the nose than love songs. It's a bummer to write things. He said it's a bummer that a lot of things I tend to write. I had the screenwriting teacher. He was amazing. I don't even know. He kind of rambles.
I feel like They'll Be Rich and Dead
here we go. I had a teacher who said, "Write what you know," and all I know about is being a self-obsessed, pessimistic sort of loser, which is like, hey, I fucking relate, right? Like that's why we listen to the fucking band, right? But you know, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, you know, the world sucks and global warming and all that stuff. Swimming through the garbage dump that fills the air.
They'll Be Rich and Dead is much more, I think, explicitly charged than the line in Where I Belong.
Yeah, of course. Bodies rest and motion fighting night and day, like kill or be killed. I think it's, you know, if you take it at the surface level and at the surface level of his comments, it's obviously like political and war and global warming and that stuff. Let me see. Some of the song meanings people. My favorite is "It's a prayer. Replace helicopter with God, and you'll see what I mean." Because as we have now decided, Motion City Soundtrack is a Christian rock band the whole time.
Oh my god.
What else? Songs about a person living in a war-torn nation like Iraq. He or she is talking to the soldiers in the helicopter. The person wants to be taken away from what's going on around him. Hello, helicopter, will you be my friend? Will you take me away? That's interesting. That's an interesting read, I think.
I get it, but I feel like that falls apart. Like,
no, I mean, everything falls apart. Even the people who never found eventually break down. It's my curse.
I don't know. I think "Hello, my Lord Jesus" is a perfect reinterpretation.
Hello, my Lord Jesus, are you here to stay? It's "Hello, my Lord Jesus, will you be my friend? Will you take me away?"
That's a pretty straightforward Christian rock lyrics right there.
That's the other thing, right? Again, this is the poppiest album. This is the one that you could absolutely change the lyrics and just completely release as a Christian rock album, and they would eat it up. You live in Springfield, Missouri. You know how many stations you'd hear this on if it was a Christian rock song?
I mean, there's like one, I think, in
really?
Springfield.
Only one?
Yeah.
My best friend is super Christian, and like anytime he would sit in his car, it would be 99.1 FM, which is the Christian rock rate station in St. Louis. Which is like, you know, he would be fine if you changed it to regular like pop music or just put your own stuff in. Like that was fine. It's just what he would listen to all the time. And I was the best man at his wedding. And the day of his wedding, all he was listening to was sermons about being a good husband. And I was like, oh my God, if it wasn't your fucking wedding day, dude, like I would be giving you so much shit right now. like instead, my job as the best man is to make sure you make it to the wedding and walk down the fucking aisle. But otherwise, well, guys, you don't want the groom as much on the aisle. It's meant to make sure he's there at the end of the aisle. But like every part of me is like you are lucky you're getting fucking married today, because songs about genocides in Africa from a person who lives there because helicopters drop food and supplies.
That one actually, I think I get a little bit more.
How does that one track more than the Iraq one? It's pretty much the same, right?
Dropping supplies. I don't.
Is it in several more years or in several years? I always thought it was in several years, but songmeanings.com says in several more years.
Let's see.
The lyrics are not on the vinyl. Only the lyrics to "Even If It Kills Me" are. Are we ever going to get it right? Are we ever going to start making sense and stop pretending that we care? I don't know. It does feel like, you know, kind of about Bush.
It is in several years. There's no more there.
Yeah, I don't know why songmeanings.com has the more. That's such a weird...
Genius also has it.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're listening to it right now and it's in several?
Yeah, for sure.
I've always thought it was in several years. No one will care. They'll be rich and dead.
Yeah, I'll play it right here on my phone. Or you can play it. It's at like a minute 38-ish.
I don't have it pulled up. Just play it off your phone.
Okay.
We'll cut it in if we need to. Here, I do have it pulled up. I found it. Here we go. Whoops.
Swimming through the garbage dump that fills the air.
See? Or here?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
There's
It's 100% in several years. I don't know what these people are thinking.
Is that you said yours doesn't have the official lyric book, or does not?
Yeah, the record doesn't have an official lyric book, but it's all on, I think, Epitaph's site somewhere. Epitaph, hello helicopter. This is literally how you do a show, is you just Google things out loud. The official Epitaph site says in several more years.
Yeah, so that must be what they wrote, and then he changed it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And several more. Yeah, probably just several feels more natural.
Like I honestly don't hate it, but
I like
he definitely says
more.
In several.
Yeah.
One interesting one, because this was the last record that was made before Justin got sober. Someone says, I think helicopter's a metaphor for, well, helicopters get you high. So everything else represents the chaos of his life and how running away for a bit, helicopter is all he wants to do. He's addicted because it seems he's calling for the helicopter.
Is it his dealer?
Well, or the helicopter's the drugs, right? Hello, drugs, will you be my friend?
Hello, drugs, have you heard the news?
All right, that's fair.
Hello, drugs, are you lost out there?
I mean, look, everything falls apart a little bit. But I mean, it's mixing, bodies rest in motion, fighting night and day. Kill or be killed. One day we'll get the best of them. Again, yes, some things make sense, some things don't make sense. Obviously, everything takes inspiration from lots of things. But I think it would be an interesting interpretation of the drug interpretation. But
is there some kind of
songfacts.com? Songfacts.com says the song deals with the global and economic crisis and how it seems no one is doing anything about it. It also touches on how wasteful America is. The helicopter frequently mentioned in the song could possibly suggest a rescue helicopter. So, thanks, Songfacts.com. I'm very confused about this several more years thing. You would think in the last 13 years someone would have fixed it.
Well,
I'm going to tweet Justin. I'm going to be like, hey, the Epitaph site says several more years, but I've always heard several years. Is that right?
He's going to respond to you with a winky face.
He is. It's like the time that I asked him, because we had this discussion about whether the class in her words is whether he's taking an online course, he's learning to speak Japanese. Is the online course Japanese, or is he taking an online course and learning to speak Japanese as two separate things? And he's like, yo, man, it's whatever you want it to be. I'm like, go fuck yourself, Justin. It's a simple question. And you know what? You didn't even sell your Xbox to Jimmy down the street, all right? I know you still have an Xbox. You did quit smoking weed, though, so good for you. All right. I feel like there's definitely more we can say about the song. I don't know. I feel like we haven't talked enough, and there's definitely more we can say. Do you have anything else to say about this song?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking about, just before we started recording, I was obviously listening to it again, but I was also listening to the songs around it. So Broken Heart's before it, which is, I mean, I love the album, but I really like Broken Heart. But then right after with Where I Belong, I was really getting into that. I feel like the Hello Helicopter plays really well into Where I Belong.
I agree. Well, I also like that it's a slow start, right? Like it starts slow with a little bit of piano, and then like builds very quickly, and then like ends slow. So it's kind of interesting because you come out of Broken Heart. Yeah, with Broken Heart kind of like ends sort of like, I'll destroy this useless heart. Although it then goes back into the big. Mm-hmm. And so Hello Helicopter again like dips back down and comes back up. And then Where I Belong. Where I Belong is just like sort of energy the whole way. Which is, I don't know. I think that is sort of an interesting. I do really like its placement in the album. I think it's good placement. Yeah.
Does this song kind of feel? I know this is probably a stretch, but does this song kind of feel like Stand Too Close to You?
I don't know. I'd have to compare them more. I can see that, right? Because there's the Stand Too Close starts with just Justin and guitar, and then ends with like a very like sort of the structure I could see it as being a little similar for sure. Yeah, I that makes sense. I buy that. Buy that for $1. The strings, we didn't really talk about the strings much.
Those are at the end.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
They I don't know, that's not something they do often. They did it, like I said, in I think Everyone Will Die on Go. But otherwise it's not a thing they do a whole lot of. So it is an interesting, I don't know. I feel like I say interesting a lot on this podcast and don't actually say what's interesting about anything.
Well, if that, how many times are these strings? I didn't even think about that. You know, I do. That's one of the things about Everyone Will Die is that I like, aside from the very harsh subject matter, I really like that song. Like I feel like
it's a good song.
Music's very strong in it. Or the melody. Are those the only two songs where there's strings?
As far as I can think of, yes.
Those like synth strings, or do they actually have someone there?
So, again, on this album, it just says string arrangement by Eli Janney, so that might be just a keyboard. I don't know. It didn't sound like it, but it is mixed in with other stuff, so maybe with all the mixing, it just, they're good at making it not sound like it. But I believe it is specified who played what on Go. So those, I think, are actual, actual strings based on my recollection. I could be wrong if that is all, but I'm fairly certain, and I'm Googling it right now because I don't know where my actual CDs are. I think they're somewhere in my room that I don't know. Yes, they got a string ensemble, the Laurels String Quartet. Dan Lowan, Erica Burton, Josh Misner, and Zachary Scanlon specifically are listed as additional musicians on Everyone Will Die. I don't know if there's other strings on that album at all, because they're also listed as just strings, but there's only one string arrangement listed. As far as I can think of, they're the only two songs with strings, and I probably wouldn't have even thought of this song if I hadn't like listened to it and been like, oh, there's strings on this. So it's possible there's other strings on other songs that I just don't remember.
It's easy to not notice them when they're at the end, and they're not even like...
Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't have noticed it if I just wasn't listening for this, right? And then I was like, oh, hey, there's some strings on this. Just a quick cursory Wikipedia search doesn't show any strings on any other album. Doesn't mean there aren't. Just means that they're not shown yet. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the whole. On a whole, I really like the way that this song is structured and written. Every part comes in. I don't know. It's one of those like. I didn't specifically listen for the drums on this one, so maybe there wasn't like a really great drum part specifically. But it's one of those things that I think it checks off most of the boxes that I have suggested make a great Motor City soundtrack song. But I'm just like, I like the song. It's a good song, but I don't think it's like an all-time great. You know, like I don't think it's the best song. Like it's not the best song on the album even. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's just what it is. What's that? Is that synth right at the beginning of? Fell in Love Without You. The doo doo. I think that's synth. Before it goes in the like those two little notes at the very beginning. I don't know if that's like a really quick string hit or just synth. I think it's just synth.
It sounds like string.
Yeah.
The very brief one.
I don't think it is though. I think it might just be guitar distorted.
It could be something distorted, but the effect is that it does sound to me like a string.
It sounds like string, yeah, but I right. think it's not strings. All right. let's go ahead and move on to covers. We did find quite a few covers for this song, finally.
Yes.
After 3 episodes of not finding any damn covers, we found a bunch of covers for this one. One thing actually, I really would have loved to hear an acoustic, like a Motion City Soundtrack official acoustic version of this song. Maybe there's one out there that I just couldn't find, but I think this would have been a great one for the acoustic EP over maybe. I don't know what I would have replaced if I had to replace a song. But I think this would have been a really interesting one on for them to do acoustically. But they didn't. So
It's because it already kind of feels like an acoustic song.
A little bit at points, obviously, yeah. But like replace the synths with the xylophone you love so much. That'd be sick.
Always pro xylophone.
I know. I'm not against it. I know you really love the xylophone on Worker Bee, so I think it would be cool. So the first cover we're gonna play is I don't want to say who it's from, but there's one comment and it's from you. That's so funny. It's 5 days ago when I sent you this video. That's hilarious. All right, here is this cover of Hello Helicopter.
Yeah, man.
So that is, of course, an 8-bit chiptune. So this brilliant review in the comments says, "Hey, this is real good. Thanks for making it."
I stand by it.
I don't disagree with it. Yeah. I'd be really I don't know. Hold on, Jesus, how many fucking captures I have to go through to get to this? Man, I don't know. So I really like this cover. Sorry, let me make this very clear. I do really like this cover. I'm a fan of chiptune stuff and 8-bit stuff. But we went back and forth over whether or not this is like computer generated or somebody actually put the work into this. And I just don't know.
They put out so many videos.
They do put out so many videos.
They just uploaded 5 videos in the last 7 minutes. There's a video I'm looking at that was literally uploaded 34 seconds ago.
25 seconds ago by my thing, which I'm sure I just logged in a little earlier than you. You're right. That makes sense that it isn't.
And yesterday, how many videos did they upload? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Or actually, it's probably doing overlap. But yeah, they upload so many fucking songs.
But it's just like it's such a good chiptune that it seems very. It's I don't know. It's very, very difficult to do just off of just programmatically. It would make sense.
Maybe they have an artificial intelligence just making chiptunes.
It would be interesting. Maybe if they were able to separate each track out, I get for maybe some of the big ones where they can find the separate tracks to do the remixes on those. That I buy that they just automate those. But I don't know. Oh, they apparently they've done 2 different covers of Everything Is All Right, and one of them was 2 months ago, and that was specifically a Sega Mega Drive cover. We're gonna have to get to that eventually when we get to that song. Wow, that is. But you're right. They do put a shit ton of them out. But just to do that, I don't know. I think it's fully possible that Chiptune Planet isn't one person. It's just a lot of different people who all submit to the same thing, Chiptune Planet,
all at the same time.
Well, no, and then Chiptune Planet posts them all at the same time together.
Yeah, is that a website? Is it a website?
I don't think so. That's the hole in my theory.
I'm not seeing it. Oh, that doesn't mean I'm thinking of a Discord.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if
Like,
it's a bunch of people, the people are still prolific.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I guess I should have done more research when we first had this discussion. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm trying to I really want to know because it is interesting. This is the second episode in a row that I'm like, I really got to know this, and then it's just wastes so much time on it. Here's a artist called 8-Bit Songs who did a Makeout Kids cover, among other things. I gotta figure that shit out. They have playlists, whatever. Anyway, we'll figure all that out. Next time we have a chip tune of some Most Shitty Soundtrack song, I'll have figured it out, hopefully, or not. That's also very possible.
But if I message these people, I can get them to do the entire discography and upload it in one day.
They upload it in one day. That would be fascinating. Did they do the whole? I don't. They did 2 different songs from Commit This to Memory, but I don't know if they did the whole album. Anyway,
they just uploaded 3 more songs while we're talking.
Did they really? All right. The next one is a cover that I found on SoundCloud, and this one is a little bit more traditional.
Hello, helicopter, are you lost up there? Swimming through the garbage dump that fills the air. In several more years, no one will care, they'll be rich and dead. So let somebody else devise a cure for it. Saying anything.
Somebody read the official lyrics. No, I think that's a really strong vocal performance. Although I don't know, I like it. I think it's great, but a lot of it seems very, I don't know, too strong.
It was also pretty loud as it came through.
No, well, that was probably on purpose. Just because every time I record, all the music comes through super quiet, and then I have to add it back in. But yeah, so but she was a little loud. I think that's just the way she's saying it. I don't know. I think she's got a strong voice, but maybe it's like she really pushes it. There's also a cover of 1,000 Paper Cranes on here. So when we get to that song, we'll probably talk about this cover. Mm-hmm. But it is very much just her and a piano, which is the white girl version of a white guy with an acoustic guitar. But it's it's well recorded, which is why I chose it. Because all the ones that are crappily recorded, I'm just nah. But this one was nice and well recorded, so I definitely wanted to include it. That is from Michelle Connolly on SoundCloud, who hasn't posted anything in 7 years. So hope you're okay out there, Michelle Connolly, and keep making music. Did you have any other thoughts on that cover?
Yeah, I like the. Was there multiple instruments on that?
I think it was just piano. By the way, this one is also apparently on Apple Music. So good for you, Michelle Connolly, who hasn't released an album in 7 years. You're on Apple Music. Let me see. No, I think it's just piano. Maybe on one of the other tracks there's more, but on this track it was just piano, it seemed. All right, now the 2 covers that you pulled up, which I was initially skipping, but you pulled them, so we're gonna play them. First, this one is from only 2.5 years ago, from YouTuber Nooly, Nooly. Music Monday, number 17. Hello, Helicopter.
Hello, helicopter.
So I think this kind of suffers from the opposite problem of the last one, where the last one was a little too strong, and she's like, I don't know if she's like not trying not to wake anybody else up in the house, which been there, so I feel you. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like quiet. I'm like just belt it out, girl. Like you can do this. I believe in you.
It seems like she's kind of making it her own as she sings it, which I
I like that too. She definitely did that. And I actually I think I watched a full video of one of her other Motion City. She's done like 7 Motion City soundtrack covers, so don't worry, she'll be here a lot. Because it ain't necessarily easy to find Motion City soundtrack covers. But one of which, by the way, happens to be "Everyone Will Die," which
looking forward to it.
You're looking forward to the moment when everyone will die?
No, just listening to how she decides to sing that song.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was an interesting take. I did like that she like messed with it a little bit. Like that's the thing that I really like in covers. I think I've said it before, is like when you're doing something different instead of just playing it straight through the way that it is on the album, like doing something interesting and different with it to make it your own. Instead of just being a white guy playing an acoustic guitar in your bedroom. That said, here's the next cover.
I'm not saying anything you haven't heard before. I'm just trying to understand the way we are. Hello, helicopter, how are you here to stay?
Speaking of Owl fucking City.
Yes. Oh man, it is very much. I didn't even think about that because I was making a comparison with Tom Higginson.
Tom Higginson, yeah.
The Plain White Tees. Yeah, but that guy sounds way more like whatever his name is of Owl City.
That's Adam something. Whatever, Owl City. That's what everybody calls him. He's fucking City. Like Adam Young. Which is not their name. But yeah, like he really sounds like he's like. But again, I think it's because he's trying to do the thing Justin does at that point in the song, which to me sounds a little Owl City, and this kid probably just sounds a little more like Owl City than Justin does naturally, so it just sounds a little Owl City-ish. But it's very much in the vein of everything I do on Instagram, which is just fucking sit in my bedroom and play guitar all the time.
I just like how much he to me sounds like kind of a lot of those alt rock singers of the aughts.
Like Ben Gibbard, who we talked about last episode a little bit.
I feel like it's insulting Mick Gibbard to compare him to this person.
Wow. So poor fucking Tom Higginson, who you were comparing him to as well. Is that what you're saying? Tom Higginson fucking sucks?
I'm saying I don't care about making the comparison with the person who looks like John Cusack microwaved.
You hear that, Tom? Jesus. You hear that, Tom Higginson? Jake's coming for you. Unless you murder somebody. If you murder somebody, Tom Higginson, then Jake is all about you. He'll be a huge fan. All right. Man, I really thought this was going to be a longer episode, and we're at like the 55-minute mark. But that's fine. It's I think we got all our stuff out there. Do you have any other final thoughts on the song Hello Helicopter?
Nope. No, I've said it all. Like I think I'd either rehash it or stretch for something. We covered the lyrics, we covered the song, we covered its placement in the album. We talked about a bunch of other stuff in the covers.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So, I don't have any other thoughts off the top of my head either, but it's going to happen every single time. I'm like, I don't have any other thoughts. And then we hit stop and I'm like, fuck, I had one thing I wanted to say.
All right. I'm going to hit stop, wink.
Yeah, but no, I think literally on every no, everyone will die. Keeps on the worst yet to come. I went back and put it back into the episode because I had a thing I wanted to say. I'm like, fuck, let me go back and put this in. Let me double check. Let me reread the lyrics because it was definitely something that I there's definitely a lyric that I always like want to sing and it's wrong. Oh, it's nobody seems to care, and then it goes nobody ever learns, and every time I want to say nobody understands. I don't know why. It just seems like it would fit there. Not that it would be any better or worse. Maybe it might be worse. I don't know. Nobody ever learns. Nobody understands.
Is more relevant. Nobody understands is kind of a slightly different message.
Nobody understands a little more trite. You're right. I'm a bad songwriter. I understand.
I'm not saying it's trite. I'm saying it's not.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. But yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, no other thoughts off the top of my head either. So I think that is it for this episode of Motion Cities Podcast. If you want to find us on the internets, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Kuhan. Jake is at XFIP minus. That's XFIP, and then minus is spelled out the normal way. If you want to follow the show, we're at Motion City Pod. That's where we're at on Instagram as well, although I don't think we've posted to Instagram yet. Who knows though? This episode comes out, by the time this comes out, we might have posted on Instagram, but I doubt it. You can email us, motioncitypod@gmail.com. At some point I will read an email if we get one. Jesus. Patreon. Don't support us, or do.
You're nailing it.
We'd love it if you were to support us, but we'd also very much understand if you don't. Gosh, I think that's it. I don't think there's any other plugs we're supposed to have at the end of an episode, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think because this episode comes out in February, in a couple of weeks, I don't think we've built up enough of a following yet for anybody to care, but in a couple of weeks, as far as I am definitely going to be at the Motion City Soundtrack Show in Milwaukee on February 14th, and Jake is, I'm pretty sure, also definitely going to be there. Maybe Jake is maybe going to be there. Who knows? We'll know. You'll see me. I'm a brown guy. Not gonna be a lot of us there. Follow our Twitters for more updates, and the Motion City Podcast Twitter for updates as well. But if you come and say hi to us, we don't have merch or anything to give you. But I don't know. Take a picture and be like, I like the show. What's that?
Buy their merch.
Yeah, definitely. Well, of course, buy their merch. That's obvious. I have a see the thing. I have a VIP ticket, and I'm going with at least 2 and possibly 3 people who don't have VIP tickets. And it's like, I don't know how that's gonna be like. I don't know. Like, do I leave it? Do I have to like try to hold a space in the pit, or do I just like get the VIP and then not get a spot in the pit? It's also fine. It's whatever. It's not as okay. Until next episode. Goodbye, helicopter.
Goodbye. Goodbye, helicopter.